We are going to hear a few, what did you say, a 45-minute stunner? Yeah. We're going to hear from Peg Blake, who is Vice President of Enrollment and Management up at Humboldt State. Enrollment Management and Student Affairs at Humboldt State. She has been here for 5 years and has held similar positions at Southern Oregon University, Boise State University, and the University of Nebraska. And she was here last year when her daughter Laura Blake was recognized as one of the top 10% from Arcata High. She also has a son, Colin, who just graduated from Oregon State and is working as a chemical engineer in Portland. She said the weirdest thing about her family is that her husband is currently working in Wyoming. For 3 years. Yeah, that is kind of weird. I would really miss my husband if he were working like that. So please join me in welcoming Peg.
That's probably the weirdest thing that I'm allowed to say in public about my family. There's many things about my family. Oh, you have a clock up here. I brought my phone up. I was going to tell you it was in case Mr. Navarre's wife called me, but it was really to make sure that I stayed on time. So I don't need to because you've got a clock up here. As Barbara said, I was here last year. You're right, this is kind of a funny setup. I was here last year with my daughter, who was recognized as the top 10%. And many of the things she was involved in, some of you are involved in, and so I feel like I know about half of this year's top 10%, and I really want to congratulate all of you on your amazing accomplishments. And I have to tell you, I got a little teary. Did anybody else get teary? Any other parents in the room? Yeah? Okay, yeah. Even when they're not my kids, I can tear up over them. I think it's why I stayed in higher education and have worked in my field for now 35 years, is because I really enjoy watching the transitions from high school to college and then on beyond that. I really enjoy having a hand in that, and it is particularly exciting when you're able to work with the talent like the students in this room and see what happens to them as they move forward in their lives. I want to thank Rotary and Barbara, there you are, for this opportunity to speak to all of you today and to honor the top 10%. I am not a Rotarian myself, but I grew up in Nebraska, and my father is a lifelong Rotarian. He's now 89 years old and still attends every Friday noon. So I know many of the wonderful contributions, and the litany that you read this year of this club's accomplishments in this past year is pretty amazing, and I thank you all for that, for your contributions to the community and to these students. I don't know how you all get up this early every Friday morning. God bless you. I'm not a morning person. I set my alarm for 6 o'clock this morning, and I woke up about 10 after 4 because I was afraid I would oversleep it. So if I fall asleep up here, it's because I got up too early. But I've had my coffee now. I want to extend a special thank you to the parents and the family members of the top 10 who are here today, having sat where you are sitting now a year ago and listened to all of the accomplishments of my daughter's colleagues, and now listening to the accomplishments of your kids. I can only say that I know how much your contributions to them have made a difference in their lives and will continue to make a difference in their lives going forward. And it was very touching to hear the wonderful things that these students said about their parents, and you all should be commended for that. Primarily this morning, though, I want to talk to the students. So those of you who are being recognized as top 10% and those of you who are being recognized with scholarships for your amazing academic and community contributions and accomplishments. Every one of you has compiled a record so far that you should be proud of, and you are each on your way to making an outstanding positive impact on my world and your world and our collective world. I probably want to address 5 of you in particular. I think I heard 4 of you are going to be lumberjacks, is that correct? This fall? Yeah. Yeah? Okay. Come see me. Or some of the others in the room who are also at Humboldt. We love to have some of our own there. Thank you. And one, it's Thomas, for your outstanding choice of Willamette University, because that's where my daughter Lauren is. She just completed her freshman year, had an outstanding time. Perfect fit, so I think it will be awesome for you as well. So congratulations to you. Okay, now everybody. I shouldn't pick out individuals, but I just had to. Listening to your plans for next year, it's clear that you have already made one of the biggest decisions in your life so far, and that's what you're going to do next. And it sounds like with this group that you have made that decision keeping in mind what you think is best for you, not what somebody else thinks is best for you, not what is best for your friends, so you're going to do the same thing, but each one of you has individually made that choice, and that is exactly what you ought to be doing. Because up until now, most of the big decisions in your life have probably been made by someone else, right? By your parents, by your friends, by your teachers, by family members. All the people in your world who matter to you and who are important to you have generally had a pretty heavy hand in helping you decide what's next. And so making a decision about what to do at this point, whether you're going to go to college, which it sounded like everybody in the room is going to college except the one who's going on an exchange program. So whether you decided you were going to go to college as far away from Arcata as you can get, Gillen, or whether you're staying at home and attending Humboldt State, the four of you who are choosing that, whether you're taking the time off from school to travel and see the world as the one young woman is, whose name I've forgotten, but who's doing the exchange program. Decision making is beginning to shift away from others, and pretty soon you're going to be making all of those decisions almost entirely or entirely by yourself. And so that's what I want to talk to you about today, is decision making. Your decisions matter. Your choices matter. Your path matters. What you do today and tomorrow will impact you for the rest of your lives. And that's really hard to understand when you're 17 or 18 years old. But every single thing you do begins to impact the rest of your life. So it's really important that as you step into this new role and you begin to take on all of these decisions for yourself, that you make sure that the choices that you're making are the right ones for you. Does doing whatever it is you're going to do make you proud? Does it make you happy? Is it having a positive impact on you, on those around you, those who are important to you? Can you talk about it, whatever it is, with your parents, or with your grandparents, or with your teachers, or with Mr. Navarre, or with your best friend? And so I'll give you some examples. I've worked in colleges and universities now, as I said, for 35 years, because I'm really that old. And I have seen in those 35 years thousands of students your age make good decisions, and I've seen some make bad decisions. I've seen students your age be wildly successful and go on to do things that are just absolutely stunning and amazing. And I've seen some pretty impressive examples of crash and burn. And you know what I believe the difference to be between those who do well and those who end up learning life lessons in a harder way? I really think that the difference is believing, really believing deep in your heart that today is the first day of the rest of your life, and that every choice you make is going to have an impact on what the rest of your life looks like. When you understand that every decision matters, it can be kind of scary, and it can also be really empowering. I have the pleasure each year, and probably for the last 20 years, which again is an indication of how old I am, but each year I get to talk to the new students now that I'm at Humboldt State, and Humboldt State, so the four of you, you're going to hear some of this speech during new student orientation this fall. But I tell them there are 3 secrets to being successful students in college. And they're really simple, and the students that I've seen who follow these 3 things are uniformly successful at achieving their dreams. And the first one, and this is all about decisions, it's not about being successful in college, but you can take it that way if you want to. But the first one is a decision to go to class. Go to class. And you guys have a habit of doing that. You also have had people at home to poke and prod when you wanted to sleep in or whatever. When you go to college, you don't have that. It's on you. And I have seen brilliant students decide that for whatever reason, that 8:30 class in the morning is just too early, and they'll just get somebody else's notes, and that'll be good enough. And that's a wrong decision. Because the minute you start doing that, you start down a slope that you can't recover from. So if you decide to go to class, it's the first key to being successful. Second one is to use the resources that are available to you, including the people. So each one of us who works at a university, every single one of us does that for one reason, and it's to help you be successful. It's to help you achieve whatever your dream is, whatever your goals are. But I've seen students who have thought, I can go it alone, I don't need help, who have been frightened to ask for help, who haven't understood that that's the reason that we do what we do, is so that you can be successful, and they've made a choice to not use the resources that are available, and then guess what? They end up in my office the last week of the term, or they end up in Jen's or Steve's offices the last week of the term. They haven't been doing well. They haven't been managing their finances, whatever it is, and they feel like they have to go home and they're a failure because they haven't used the resources that are available. They've made a decision, and in this case it's a decision not to do something, and it impacts everything that happens to them for the rest of their lives. The third thing that I tell students that they need to do in order to be successful is to get involved in at least one thing, and generally I say your first semester in only one thing, outside of the classroom, something that you take pleasure in, something that is fun and relaxing or entertaining or social for you, and try it out, because life can't be all about schoolwork. It's got to be about more than that. You don't want to take on too much initially, but you got to take on something. And the students who are successful do that. They find something meaningful. They find the Rotary, or they find the hiking club or the kayaking group or whatever it is, and they participate in that, and that helps them expand their network of support. It helps them relax, chill out, whatever it is. But I've also seen some students who've made the decision that for them getting involved means partying, hanging out late at night, doing whatever it is that they want to do, but it's not a positive kind of interaction. And guess what? That choice also impacts them for the rest of their lives. So, as simple as it sounds, those three things I tell students every year, those are the decisions that you need to make that will help you be successful. And if you make the right decisions, and you all have that capability, you will be successful, and it will impact the rest of your life. If you make the wrong decisions, it will also impact the rest of your life. So I'm sure you get the picture. What I'm trying to say to you is, if you believe that every single decision that you make from here forward matters, you'll make better decisions, and your success will be assured. And I want to talk just about, very briefly, because I'm running out of time here, one of the decisions you've already made is what you're going to do this fall. That decision is going to impact the rest of your life in terms of who your friends are going to be 5 years from now, where you're going to be living 5 years from now, what kind of job and career you will have, how much money you will make, and so much more. That decision that you have made, it's the first really critical decision you've had to make for most of you, is going to impact your lives forever, forever. And I'm really pleased that everybody's made such great choices and great decisions in that. I'm sure you've heard the saying, life isn't a dress rehearsal. And if you haven't, you need to hear that one. Those of us who are my age have heard that one a few times. I actually tried to find out who was the first one to coin that phrase, and it's inconclusive, so I can't quote anybody. But whoever said it was right. We only get one trip through this life. So, doesn't it make sense to do everything in your power to make sure that this trip counts? To make sure that the decisions that you're making today and tomorrow and next week and next month are the right ones for you, so that you can have the kind of impact that you are capable of. So that you can contribute more and find more satisfaction and fulfillment in your lives. So that's my message to all of you here today. You're at one of the critical junctures of your life. You've already proven that you have the ability to achieve whatever it is you want to achieve. You've already proven that you have the ability to make great decisions. You're wise, you're strong, and you're focused. So use those strengths and all of your abilities to the best purposes possible. Make good decisions, and remember how much they count. Thank you, and congratulations.